So, Mark, can you talk a little bit about your relationship with triggers in regards to like dealing with grief?
Oh, for sure. You know, my experience with grief when I initially lost my mother was that there were waves, days when I was up, days when I was down, days when I was somewhere in between. And I found myself in a situation. I was newly married at the time, and being a newlywed, I would sometimes get aggravated with my wife, and I would be like, she pissed me off, and she didn't wash the dishes, or she's nagging me for any number of reasons. And I realized at some point that it had nothing to do with her or anything that she was doing, more so than it was something that was triggering me to go into one of what I'll call a grief spell.
Sure.
And so I think it's important to identify the things that trigger you when it comes to the loss that you experience. One of the things for me was hearing her talk to her mother on the phone, and they laugh and they talk, and then all of a sudden I'm aggravated, right? And
Right.
I realized at some point I'm aggravated because she's doing something I don't get a chance to do anymore. And so once you realize that, you can almost foresee it coming, and then you can deal with it in a healthy way. And so identify your triggers, know the things that are going to happen around you that might make you remember your loved one and cause you
Yeah.
to go into one of those sad
Yeah.
moods.
But I can see how that is a very, very real emotion. Like
Yeah.
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Very.
Yeah.
Literally taking like not taking your anger out, but
But that's really what
yeah,
it becomes,
that's how
yeah.
it is.
Like, oh, and then she
Yeah.
gets off the phone and now I'm mad.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't want to talk no more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think can you keep this rolling, bro? Because I feel like what you just said was huge, man.
Yeah.
I feel that, like,
Yeah.
to this day, still. I'm still triggered, bro, behind things. Oh, yeah. He's spot on with
Yeah.
that. Like, I'll see like a glimpse, like, oh, man, I'm just red right now. And, like, they haven't even said anything. Or, like, I'll see somebody, like, we'll be at a graduation or something, and, like, somebody mama step up, and, like, it'll just be, like, instant.
Spiral.
I'll be like, man, I feel like I don't even need to, like, borderline. I wouldn't say suicidal, but like what's my purpose right now?
Right. Yeah.
Like, I don't get to experience that.
And that's it. You said suicidal.
Yeah.
I want to say something about that because people think of suicidal thoughts and it's this
Right,
like
right, right.
I'm going to kill myself, which it is,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
But I think that there's also this element of I don't necessarily want to kill myself, but if this is all God that you have for me, if that's
Yeah.
it, if that's the end, I'm at peace with that.
For sure.
When in reality, there's more work to do. There's more purpose, right? Which is sort of why we are even doing Mom
Absolutely.
Angel, right? That you finding that purpose in that sadness. So
Yeah, triggers. You don't even have to lose your parent for that. That's just
Yeah, no, you really don't.
Yeah.
Because that like it could just be losing anything.
Exactly.
Like a job.
Exactly.
Like, you lose your job and you know your significant other is glowing up at work. Like, you know, that can trigger something. That's
and now you're looking at the glow up and you're like, oh no, I don't, or you lose your
Yeah.
job and now she's on you about another job.
and
And
people don't really. You have to really kind of take a step back and kind of like look internally to realize
for
like,
sure.
this is like a trigger.
It's triggering me.
especially when you lose somebody really close to you.
Yeah. Or
Because
something
you-
really close to it. Yeah.
I poured a lot. I mean, my mother did as well into our relationship. We talked 4 or 5 times a day on the phone. Like I was the poster child of mama's boy.
Right.
And so all that pouring stopped when she left. And so let's say you lose that job that you've poured so much energy into,
Yeah.
and then they come in and lay you off.
You're like,
And you're
what?
like, what is this? You don't know now all that energy you gave to this thing
Yeah, man.
is just floating out. And you got to figure out what to do with it after that.
Yep.